All right, if you're a MacBook Pro user, you are gonna want to listen up. A major, and I mean highly credible rumor, says Apple is about to split its most popular Pro laptop into two very different tiers. It's gonna create this clear line between the base models and the high-end ones. So let's break down what that actually means for you.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter, right? There's this massive upgrade on the horizon, but it looks like a huge chunk of Apple's Pro user base is about to get left in the dust. So, what's really going on here?
Now, before we go any further, I want to make one thing crystal clear. This is not just some random internet speculation. Nope. The sources we're looking at rate this rumor as highly likely. That means it is backed up by multiple, super reliable insiders. In the world of tech rumors, this is about as close to a sure thing as you can get.
Okay, let's get into the specifics of this new divide. Apple is reportedly cooking up one of the biggest MacBook Pro redesigns we've seen in years, all planned for the M6 generation. But, and this is the big but, it's not for everybody. So get this. According to the reports, the entry-level M6 14-inch MacBook Pro, the model that a ton of people actually buy, is expected to be completely left out of this redesign. It'll likely keep the same body it has now, and, most importantly, it's going to miss out on that brand new OLED display. But for the people who do get the upgrade, oh man, it is a huge leap forward. So what exactly is in this redesign, and why is this new display tech such a big deal anyway? For its premium models, it looks like Apple is finally moving on from the mini LED displays we have today. And don't get me wrong, mini LED is fantastic, but this jump to OLED, it's a whole different level for Apple's Pro screens.
So the key difference is really all about how the screen is lit. With OLED, every single tiny pixel lights itself up. That's how you get those perfect, inky blacks and absolutely incredible contrast. Mini LED, on the other hand, it uses these dimming zones, which can sometimes cause that weird halo or blooming effect. And here's the kicker. OLED technology lets you make the entire display panel way, way thinner.
And that's why it's not just about the screen. That thinner panel makes a completely new, much slimmer laptop possible. Reports are also pointing to a new design with no notch, a touchscreen on a MacBook for the first time ever, and a totally revamped hinge. We're talking about a ground-up redesign here. And this, right here, brings us to the core tension of this whole story. All this incredible innovation is coming, but it's locked behind a serious paywall, and that creates a really stark choice for buyers. You have to wonder, is this new tech just too expensive for the base models at first, or is Apple deliberately making this gap bigger to push people to spend more? And we've got some serious backup for this from one of the most reliable Apple insiders out there, Mark Gurman. He says, and I'm quoting, "A revamped M6 Pro and M6 Max MacBook Pro with an OLED display, thinner chassis, and touch support. That's slated to arrive between late 2026 and early 2027. Notice how he specifically calls out just the M6 Pro and M6 Max models.
So here's the bottom line. If you want these next-gen features, you can't just go out and buy any old MacBook Pro. You're going to have to shell out what sources are calling massive premiums for the versions with the higher-end chips. The base model is effectively being left in the past.
Now, if you're getting excited about this new design and you're willing to pay for it, well, you're going to have to be patient. Really patient. This is not happening anytime soon.
Let's just walk through the timeline. First off, Apple has to release its entire M5 generation of Macs. That's expected in the first half of 2026. Then a key supplier, Samsung, is targeting the end of 2026 to even start mass-producing these new OLED panels. So when you put it all together, the absolute earliest launch window is the very end of 2026, or, more likely, sometime in early 2027.
And hey, that's the best-case scenario. We all know how fragile supply chains can be. Any little delay from Samsung getting that OLED production ramped up could easily push this launch even further into 2027. So yeah, nothing is set in stone.
And with that M6 redesign still so far out, it's worth taking a second to remember what's coming up before any of that happens. And that would be the entire M5 generation. In the first half of 2026, we're expecting the usual iterative updates across the board, from the Mac Pro and Mac Studio to the MacBook Air and the Mac Mini. All of that has to happen before these major changes arrive. Okay, so let's just recap the key takeaways here. A huge redesign for the MacBook Pro is coming. It's going to be exclusive to the high-end M6 Pro and Max models. It's going to feature an incredible OLED touchscreen and a much slimmer design.
And the wait is on. The estimated arrival is late 2026 at the very earliest.
Which leaves us with a final big question. By tying its biggest innovations exclusively to its most expensive models, is Apple basically creating a new Pro tier within its own Pro lineup? It really forces users into this all-or-nothing choice between the familiar present and a very, very expensive future.